Get ready for the action, because George Russell just dropped some massive news about his ambition to take Formula One to the Nurburgring. We dive deep into what Mercedes star Russell revealed after speaking with team principal Toto Wolff about the dream of driving an F1 car on the legendary Nordschleife. This is huge for motorsport fans, and you won't want to miss the details on this potential historic move. Find out all the details on this growing local development that will impact residents right in your backyard. And finally, we bring you the heat from the Canadian Grand Prix. George Russell, driving the Mercedes W16, is leading the drivers' standings with a 20-point advantage over his teammate Kimi Antonelli. But the excitement isn't just on the track. A group of local strippers are planning a major strike ahead of the race in Montreal, calling for better working conditions. Stay with us to break down the full story and what this means for the event. Mercedes star George Russell has revealed that he has discussed the possibility of driving an F1 car at the Nurburgring Nordschleife with Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff. This revelation comes as Max Verstappen's recent participation in the Nurburgring 24 hours has spurred interest from other F1 drivers in tackling the challenging circuit. The Nordschleife, often dubbed the Green Hell, remains a highly coveted destination for motorsport enthusiasts. While Verstappen's entry has opened new avenues for motorsport participation, the Nordschleife has historically been off-limits to modern Formula One cars since the 1976 German Grand Prix, following the incident involving Niki Lauda. Russell confirmed speaking with Wolff about this prospect. When questioned about the discussions, Russell acknowledged watching Verstappen's Nordschleife race and other events, stating, "The Nordschleife is something that one day I'd love to do without doubt. I have driven it before. I've driven hundreds of laps on the sim around the Nordschleife, so I don't know when that day will be." He further disclosed that he had previously attempted to have a conversation with Toto regarding using an F1 car at the venue to attempt a lap record. However, Russell emphasized his current focus, stating, "Right now, I'm focused on trying to win an F1 World Championship. Hopefully, when I've got 4 titles under my belt, I'll go and race at the Nordschleife during my F1 season." George Russell Morrison passed away peacefully on May 28, 2014, at his home in Santa Rosa at the age of 96. A native of California, Morrison's early life included graduating from Bakersfield High School in 1937 and attending Cal Poly Pomona. His service to the nation was notable during World War II, where he served as a proud member of the Army Air Corps, flying as a B-25 combat pilot in the Mediterranean theater with the 57th Bomb Wing. He completed 43 bombing missions and was recognized with the Distinguished Flying Cross for his service. Following the war, Morrison settled in Santa Rosa with his wife, Betty, and launched his own appliance business, which he successfully managed for over 45 years. He enjoyed various hobbies, including hunting, fishing, and extensive travel, particularly exploring Baja California in the 1960s and frequent trips to Club Med. Maintaining a commitment to fitness, he began running at age 60, successfully completing his first half marathon at age 62. George Russell Morrison is survived by his daughter, Patty Morrison McCarty, and son-in-law, John McCarty. He was preceded in death by his wife, Betty, who was 66, and his son, Michael. The family expressed deep gratitude for Vicky Tuckson, who served as his caregiver and companion for 5 years, enriching his life daily with her comfort and care. Morrison was remembered for his ever-present sense of humor and his smile. Per his wishes, there will be no formal services. Memorial contributions in his name may be directed to the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, located at 322 8th Avenue, 7th floor, New York, NY 10001. Funeral and cremation services were handled by Daniels Chapel of the Roses Funerals and Cremation Services, reachable at 700-75-2530-730. Events to honor George Russell Morrison were sponsored by Channel YouTube, with no other specific events reported. Terra Linda, a neighborhood within San Rafael, is set to welcome a new, large apartment complex. According to reports from the Marin Independent Journal, residents in the Terra Linda area are facing an influx of new housing development. This addition to the neighborhood signals a significant change in the local housing landscape. Details regarding the specific project, including the scale and potential impact on the existing community, are expected to be released soon. Local residents and community groups are likely to be closely monitoring the development as it moves forward. A planned strike by local sex workers is set to disrupt the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. The Sex Work Autonomous Committee, SWAC, has announced a strike scheduled for Saturday, May 23rd, coinciding with the sprint race and main qualifying at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. The organizers have intentionally timed the action, citing the F1 race as the busiest and most lucrative period of the year for their boss. The strike aims to challenge exploitative labor practices, demanding recognition of sex workers as employees with safe working conditions, an end to workplace violence, and an end to hiring and scheduling discrimination. In a statement, the SWAC argued that the Grand Prix is the optimal time to strike because clubs are at their busiest, maximizing profit, while dancers face increased rules, higher bar fees, overbooking, and worse conditions. They highlighted that during this peak period, increased scheduling without adequate security has led to heightened violence. The group pointed to specific financial pressures, noting that one Montreal club charged $110 per night for the 5 nights of F1, generating approximately $33,000 from dancers alone, excluding penalties. They characterized the bar fee model as exploitative. Beyond labor issues, the strike is framed as a political opportunity to counter narratives from sex work exclusionary feminists, asserting that sex workers possess agency and power as workers. The committee stated they intend to use the high media coverage surrounding the F1 event to promote this counter-discourse. Meanwhile, in Formula One news, George Russell of Mercedes W16 currently leads the drivers' standings, holding a 20-point lead over his teammate Kimi Antonelli, who is entering the Canadian Grand Prix. The Canadian Grand Prix itself is set to draw significant attention, having attracted a record attendance of 352,000 in 2025.